Hey everyone, welcome to our fifth MLB The Show 19 live stream. Today we're going to be talking about March to October and presentation. There will be a sweepstakes at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll give out a keyword where you can win some awesome prizes. Those prizes are, we're giving away 3 digital deluxe copies of the game. We're also giving away 3 10-pack card bundles and 1 $50 stubs package, which is 67,500 stubs. So make sure you're here at 3:30 when we give away that keyword. Remember, no purchase necessary. You have to be a U.S. resident to win and participate. And if you want the full rules, check out theshownation.com or the Twitch chat, which we will have a link. So I am joined by Stephen Haas and Luis Martinez, like Batman and Robin from live content. So what are we about to see, man?
We've got a legend review.
Another legend review.
We want to kick it off right.
Yeah. So, you know, the last couple of weeks, we've been revealing some great legends, a lot of best evers. You know, we started off with Willie Mays, got Pudge Rodriguez, Walter Johnson, and all you Yankee fans out there might be wondering, are we left on the outside looking in? We've got something for you.
Ooh, roll the video.
1 second.
This guy.
The Iron Horse.
Wardrobe change.
What?
Luis had a wardrobe change.
So that's Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, baseball's original Iron Man.
Wow.
Played in 2,130 consecutive games. Pretty crazy. You want to tell us a little bit about...
When I think of Lou Gehrig, I'm thinking about maybe the greatest first baseman of all time, all-century team kind of guy.
Yeah.
Huge power, great average. What did he do during his career?
Won 6 World Series, 2 MVPs, won a Triple Crown. Every full year he was in the majors, he drove in 100 runs, scored 100 runs. And then what about that fact about him and Babe, like that one year?
Right, like he had, I don't remember how many RBIs, was it 170?
Something like that.
It was like he had 170 RBI, and the question we were talking about is, how do you have that many RBI batting behind Babe Ruth?
Yeah,
like who's he knocking in? Like,
wasn't it the year that Babe hit 60 home runs?
Yeah.
So...
Incredible.
Yeah,
but now they're both in MLB The Show 19. You can play with Babe, with Lou Gehrig.
Yeah. Number 3 and number 4.
I wonder if we'll see a moment with Babe and Lou Gehrig.
Might be.
Kyle Blake. Kyle Blake, we were waiting on you.
Yeah, so if you're asking yourself, how do you get a version of Lou Gehrig in the game?
How do you do it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't, just like Kerry Wood a couple weeks ago, I think we should have Lou Gehrig as one of those special edition diamonds. And Ramon, we were talking about how you get one of these special edition diamonds. Lou Gehrig is one of them. And you can get one of those by purchasing the Gone Yard edition from GameStop, the Digital Deluxe edition.
Or the MVP, right?
Or the MVP edition. And there he is. It'll be an 87 overall diamond. Remember, you're going to get one of 30 diamonds. So you got a choice pack with 30 diamonds in it, and you got to make a hard decision right out of the gate.
The most lit pack you'll ever see.
Yeah, and by the time we finish streaming, we will reveal all 30 of those diamonds. And they are sellable, correct?
That's right.
So remember, the only way you can get these diamonds at launch, it's 2 ways. A, you buy one of those SKUs and you choose that diamond, or somebody who has also done the same thing puts that diamond up on the marketplace. You won't be able to acquire those cards in packs at launch. But there will be other ways to get those cards later on down the road, but at launch, those are the only 2 avenues to get the 30 diamonds, right?
Yeah, you want Kerry Wood as your ace and Lou at first? That's the way to do it.
All right, so every stream we've been revealing some of our new unlockable content that you can do in Road to the Show and franchise mode or for your DD team. Today we're going to talk about stadium sound. So this is not to be confused with Sounds of the Show, but it is a Sound of the Show. So Sounds of the Show is still in the game. It hasn't changed, but we have these new stadium sounds, and we have a few videos to showcase. Let's roll. All right, so those are two of the new stadium sounds. There's quite a few of those in the game. Yeah. I think we'll probably reveal a few more of those in future streams. I think we have to say goodbye to you guys.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back, right?
We'll be back.
We'll do some more special diamond reveals at the end, but we want to bring on some of our teammates. Yeah?
Hey, yeah, it's time to talk about March to October and contract extensions in season and real life contracts. We'll be right back.
Top of the fifth in Wrigley Field. There's a lot of noise coming from the Cubbies dugout. Babe points to deep center field. He's calling a shot. The ball is out of here. The crowd goes wild.
Dad? There's a better way.
Relive the game's biggest, most nostalgic plays with new playable historic moments in MLB The Show 19.
Wind up, pitch, and
foul ball.
PlayStation.
So we are going to talk about two things.
Mics were muted.
Oh, mics were muted. So our mics were muted. Let's do all that over again. So I'm joined by Rory. Rory, this is your first time on the stream. Tell the people what you do here at San Diego Studios.
First time, Rory McCann, game designer.
And we got Kirby, I'm Malika Legend St. John's
Yeah,
joining us again.
Yeah, they've allowed me back on the stream now that the legend reveal is out of the way. It's good to be here.
No, you're really happy to be here. Maybe we got to have Kirby reveal a legend at some point in one of the streams.
Maybe a few years down the line.
A few years down the line. All right, so let's talk about in-season contract extension. So let's go to the gameplay footage. We're in a save file with the St. Louis Cardinals. We are in July. So
we are.
Talk to us.
So the way contract extensions will be available is through spring training. Right as soon as you get into your franchise, you'll be able to extend your young guys, be able to extend your old guys who are on 1-year deal remaining left of their contract. And then later in the season, as you're getting close to the trade deadline, then you're able to sign your guys who are possibly going to hit free agency. And if you don't think you should, then you can put those guys up for trade, try to trade them around. So we can just dive on into the contract extension screen here.
Cardinals have got some interesting guys.
Interesting guys. So a few notes. Still working on the game. So a few of these guys that you're looking at, they actually have already signed contracts in real life. They just haven't been updated. We also have real life contracts, and those haven't been updated for everybody in the game yet. But when the game ships March 26, all of those things will be taken care of. Take it away.
That is correct. So first guy I think everybody should talk about with the Cardinals is
Goldie.
Paul Goldschmidt. Newly acquired. This year, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season, so we're about halfway in the season, a week away from the deadline. I feel like we should extend Paul Goldschmidt, give him a nice offer, make him stay in St. Louis.
How many years should we offer Goldie?
That's a great question, Ramon. What do the fans think?
I don't know. So we get he's 31 years old. Should we go with a 3-year deal or albatross deal?
Give us a number here.
Give us a
I
number.
don't know. That's a good question. We should
I
put
see
up a
5.
vote.
Ooh, 10? And he's 31?
We're going
Ooh, trying to give him that Pujols deal.
We want him around until like he's Bartolo age.
4, 5, 6,
13, yeah.
4, 7.
3, 4.
Wow. Blowing up a lot of different opinions right now.
I saw
A lot of
15,
different opinions.
17 years.
Right, so 1 year, 4-year, a 7, I guess. I'm seeing a lot of 4s.
Seeing a lot of 4s.
Seeing a lot of 4s.
4s.
If you were a GM, what would you? If you were a GM of the Cardinals, how long do you want to extend Goldschmidt for?
31. I say he's good for 5.
Yeah,
maybe make it an option year.
All right, so let's do 4 with an option.
Yeah, might as well make it a player option. Let's keep him interested. We'll tell him he's the star. One new thing with contracts, you're able to do the payout structure as backloaded or front-loaded. New feature we've added in. And since he's going to be 36 by the end of this deal, let's front-load it. Be wise about our salary distribution, and let's see if he'll accept this offer.
I think he's going to accept it.
He's given it thought, and he's going to accept it. So that's perfect. Now we can go on over to our roster screen, look at Paul Goldschmidt's new contract. One thing to note is that 2019 is still there. It's going to show up until the end of the season, but as you can see, the distribution of his salary for the next 5 years is there. We've got the front load. And to show off some current players with real contracts in the game, let's go to Yadier Molina, Cardinals Hall of Famer, most would say.
Sure. Most. Like all?
All Cardinals fans.
He's getting there.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting there.
All fans.
He's getting
and
there.
As you can see, he signed a 3-year, $60 million deal prior to last season. So he's got the 2 years left, $40 million to go. And that's what we've got for real contracts in our contract.
All right, so Kirby, you've been working a lot on presentations, and we have a new PA announcer. So what we're going to do is we're going to sim to a game in this franchise save file. I want to talk about some of the new presentation
Yeah, we're going to
elements.
talk about a few things here. So let's.
I think that
at any of those at Pittsburgh games. You want to do MLB Network? What do you think?
Let's see. I'm going to go. Let's go to Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh, all right. 7 o'clock game.
Sure, let's get it done here.
All right, now our concurrent goal to see 2 more videos for some of the unlockables, which are stadium sounds, is 3,300.
So we're going to jump into a game here. Just get a little gameplay action going. I'm going to play and also try to talk at the same time. I'm going to try to stay locked in. Let's see. Ooh, whoa. Yeah. All right, we're going to go with that. I don't know about the baby blue. Sorry, Cardinal Nation. All right. I'm gonna make it a rain game. I'll explain why in a minute here. Jack Flaherty, like that. I like Jack Flaherty a lot. I'm gonna jump in. While we're loading in, Ramon just mentioned this, but something you're gonna notice as you listen. Probably heard a little bit of in some of the videos that have been out there already. We have a brand new public address announcer in the game this year. His name is Alex Miniak, and he is the public address announcer of Petco Park and the Padres.
Staying local.
So if you're a Padres fan, it's going to feel real noticeable and familiar for you. But
there is
really
rain
great
in the
voice
area, but we've been given
provides
the
a lot.
go-ahead to get this one started. Tonight, it's a matchup from the NL Central between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2 of the best bats in the business go at it next on the show.
On the field before the game, we're going to have a lot more like pre-game scenes where you're going to see guys stretching, throwing, running, all that kind of stuff.
Jamison Taillon is the man on the mound for the Pirates in this contest. What do you have for us on him, Danny?
Hey, every team needs a pitcher like this one here. His numbers aren't going to blow you away. Career ERA just under 4. But one thing he does, he takes the ball every 5 days, throws strikes, and gives his team a chance to win every single time he goes out there.
Right here,
He'll be fun to watch in this one here today.
Theme 1, so both themes have been completely redone this year. MLB Network obviously still exists, and we're emulating that. But Theme 1 and Theme 2 have been completely redesigned. Both are going to be present in MLB broadcasts. It's going to be mixed in throughout the calendar. Sorry, I'm going to change my settings real quick. Make it so I'm not playing on rookie, because I'm not a rookie. So we're seeing Theme 1 here. Some things you're going to notice right away. The score bug's been updated. We've got a lot more information on there.
Debug text. Don't worry, the game won't ship with that.
Yeah. We're going to see a lot more drop downs, a lot more information on the score bugs as far as who's pitching, who's batting. In season, you're going to see their batting average, obviously where they're hitting in the order. In an exhibition game, you're going to see kind of what they've done in that game.
So you swung at that first pitch.
Yeah, well, I'm a little distracted
Fastball
talking
down,
about,
it'll
I'm
go
talking
right
about
by.
my job as opposed to actually hitting right now. Oh, that's in there. That's in there.
Hit for
A
right.
little leadoff knock.
Don't get a new pre-pitch camera?
Well, I think we're going to get that. Well, you know what? So this is a good time to talk about pre-pitch cameras. This is a new thing we added this year. What we really wanted to do is provide a little bit more of like a cinematic feel when you're doing something like selecting a pitch or using guess pitch, maybe thinking about if you're going to drop a bunt down, that kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to go into our settings here. In presentation options, you can see here pre-pitch cameras. These are going to be fully customizable. So you can pitching only, you can have them on always, you can turn them off completely if they're not your thing, hitting only. And then of course, I'm going to do it in always right now. You can set it so the frequency, so high leverage, those are going to be things like runners in scoring position, 2 strike counts, maybe first pitch, that kind of stuff. You can have them all the time and rarely. Really, like I said, fully customizable. So we're going to get in here, see what these look like after this pitch. What we really wanted to do with the pre-pitch cameras is kind of allow the atmosphere to come through. That's a knock.
Nice hit.
Allow the atmosphere to come through and get a little bit more of a presentation element into those times when you're making decisions about what pitch you're going to throw and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see that after this replay here. So here you go. This is a good example right here. Pitcher's ready to go, so we're going to back to the gameplay. But they're going to be kind of like a lot of different pans. I'm not paying attention. Different pans, close-ups of players. When somebody's just done something significantly, so if a guy's just made like a diving catch on that next play, we might be locking in on him. If it's a real tense moment between like batter and pitcher, kind of like a lot more close-ups of them. More generic moments are going to be kind of more like stadium shots.
There's a guy we just extended. Who hit into a double play.
The extension drives. Are we sure about that extension? That was a hang. That was my fault. That was my fault. It was a hanging curveball.
Yeah. Maybe we need to move back to rookie.
Yeah.
Oh, the burn.
So hey, something we're gonna notice right out of the bat right here. Starting lineup screen, full screen OSD, and we've got player models. So the animated player models are going to be sprinkled in throughout a lot of our OSDs, full screen OSDs.
And do these change based on the theme?
They will change, and obviously whoever the spotlighted player is gonna determine who's going to be shown there. Pitchers, obviously, they're not going to have helmets and all that kind of stuff on. See to right. Get up, ball.
With the oppo shot.
All right, so now we're just going to see some stuff right here with the score bar. I'll let you guys take that in.
Connects for a 2-run home run. Number 13 for him on the year as the Redbirds have taken a 2-0 lead.
So what you guys probably noticed there, and if you didn't, we have new drop downs in both theme 1 and 2 that are going to be giving you a lot of information instantly about the home run. So the distance, obviously what number home run it was in the season for the player or in the game, and then exit velocity, that kind of stuff. So we're giving you a lot of information right away as the guys are rounding the bases. That doesn't exist in MLB Network because that's not something they do in their package. So staying true to that, of course, and then helps to differentiate between our different presentation modes or themes. That's a third out. I'm going to lay out here and allow for the PA to announce the leadoff batter, so you guys can hear that.
Did we hit it? Yep. All right, so we hit our stream goal, so we will play.
Pause.
We can pause right now.
Yeah.
And we'll hear 2 new stadium sounds. One new stadium sound. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Oversold.
Which one is this, Dodgers?
Batter number 2, designated hitter.
So that is the organ playing when you have it set to, I think it's still, for the home team. All right, Kirby, keep going.
Okay. So actually, you got to hear the PA in that example right there, a pretty good example. So I'll lay out here and let him hear it as well.
What do you got? Hey, Matt, we're getting a chance to look at a guy that's been pretty good his last 3 starts. A whip under 1.20, so he minimizes the amount of base runners. He's a tough customer. It'll be fun to watch him to see if he's on point early in this one here today.
Digging in, Starling Marte. He'll lead things off here in the bottom half of the first.
Center fielder.
There's another pre-pitch camera here. Just with the PA a little bit there. So the pre-pitch camera obviously focused on the hitter, leadoff batter. When I select the pitch, then it fades back to where, getting back into throwing my pitch.
First pitch fastball in there for a
so we're still doing the presentation, post-pitch, all that kind of stuff. The key thing I think to know also about the pre-pitch cameras, they are going to do nothing to slow you down. In no way are those going to get in the way of the progress of the game. As soon as you select your pitch, or the CPU pitcher is ready to go, or your opponent on line is ready to go, whatever, those are going to drop away. So really, they're there to kind of help provide some context about what's going on, and so you're not just staring at the strike zone all the time when you're trying to select your pitch or guess pitch.
Nothing in 2. Here it comes. Slider, good 2-strike pitch, but it misses 1 and 2.
We're going to try to get through this half inning pretty quickly. I'm going to show something to you at the end of the half inning.
And we are 10 minutes away from the keyword. And a new stream goal, 3,800 for another one stadium sound.
So here's another example right here. We got Polanco. He's the highlighted player in this case.
And he's not really doing that much right now. So we'll see if the new page on the calendar helps get this guy going.
So the next to the plate for Pittsburgh, Colin Moran. His career numbers against.
So here's a good pitch camera. So again, this is not slowing me down in any way. It's kind of a presentation type of camera. But as soon as I select my pitch, I'm ready to go. Here we are. Let's go.
First pitch coming. Here it is. And this pitch is taken on the inner half for strike 1. And there are our umpires calling balls and strikes in this one, Mr. James Kingsley.
Hey, D-Row, James Kingsley's a pretty good umpire. He doesn't get too excited, keeps things under emotions. He's a pretty good ball and strike umpire.
Yeah, James Kingsley will never show you up, and he's always approachable.
Bases are empty, 1 man out. Just behind the fastball there, 2 strikes now.
2 strikes.
Good job to spoil that one away, and he stays alive.
Stud.
He was amazing yesterday, 2 days ago.
Trying to figure out if I should keep him in my fantasy league.
Oh,
and that's high for a ball.
Yeah, but I can only keep 5. It's tough.
If he's not one of them, you must have a good team.
Maybe I have a good team. I don't know if I do, though. I think I finished 5th.
Swinging a liner toward the gap in left center.
Overhead.
Running hard. He's digging for second.
Oh, and I also never use button accuracy. This is a disaster.
Teachable moment.
Kirby overran that ball.
Couldn't have controlled in your hands like this.
And as we check out the Bucks leaders in that
There's a drop down, Colin Moran double. Those used to slide out, kind of have issues sometimes covering up the player's helmet and that kind of stuff. So you're going to see a lot more drop downs, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. I'll show some screenshots in a minute. But you're going to see a lot more drop downs from the scoreboard.
You've seen that average climb during his 7-game hitting streak.
Interesting stats throughout the game. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was all you two. Wasn't the game.
I don't deny that. I get it. I'll wear it. I'll wear it. I'm sorry.
It's not the game.
Here we go.
Comes set. Here's the 0-0 pitch. There's a fastball on the inner third taken for a strike.
Think I can get out of this?
Depends on if you get another fly ball.
Hey, I wasn't going to catch that in the air anyway. I just didn't cut it off.
I think you could have cut that off in dough.
Moving away from a left-handed hitter. Didn't get the strike, but I like the idea behind the pitch.
This is in the air out to right field.
You've seen the new dynamic fielding camera that Chris Gill and Kyle Saul worked on, because he found that depth perception on some hits was kind of wonky and kind of hard to judge. And this is a new camera that they worked on and put together.
Scoring position with Sugan.
Yeah, another shot. So every time you're going to be seeing a lot of different variety in terms of these cameras post pitching. Mike Compton put a ton of work into this and really pushed for it this year, and did a really nice job of it. It was a thing. We had to talk about it a lot, and it obviously breaks up some of the broadcasty elements of our games. So again, it's not a thing, turned off, but also, I think it really adds a lot to just the experience, especially in big moments of the game where you can really feel that crowd, see that crowd standing, and kind of feel the enormity of the stadium and all that kind of stuff. Let's see what this Michael Cole does.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Ground ball, foul down the left side.
All right, Kirby, strike out. All right, here we go. Number 2.
Set to deal on a ball and 2
We'll see you.
strikes.
Oh,
Again, he's
Yeah.
Okay.
Lays off 2-2 now.
Don't be surprised if he gets another back foot slider right here. Don't think for a second just because
Hero
he took
thinks
the
I'm going
first
back
one.
foot slider.
His
I say
pitcher
you
won't
do
come
it.
back
Okay.
exactly the same way.
Listen to the man. I trust you, though.
And a slider
Ooh,
got
I
it.
got it. All right, so I'm going to lay out, let you guys see this right here.
One left for Pittsburgh. They're down 2-0. Back now from PNC Park. Second inning on its way, but first, here's Heidi Watney.
Well, Matt, clearly there is no rain in the area as of yet, but the reports that I'm getting say precipitation is expected as this game moves along. Of course, the grounds crew and the umpires will work to get this one in without a delay, but they also told me that they won't hesitate to halt the game to let the weather pass through if it is impacting the play on the field or, of course, putting the safety of the players at risk.
Yeah, Heidi, thank you. And guys, certainly having a fresh bullpen.
It's a known bug, and we're working on it. I was hoping we weren't going to get that exact scene.
And of course it's late.
But obviously the purpose of that was to show off Heidi Watney, who's clearly our brand new and first ever sideline reporter joining the broadcast booth. Heidi was amazing to work with. This was a huge undertaking this year. The key things to know about Heidi, and I think we're going to go to a few videos in a minute, none of this is what we call procedural lip syncing. A lot of times you might see in some games is where you'll see like kind of the flappy mouth where it's just animating when she's saying, or whoever's saying stuff. Everything we did was actually captured in motion capture, getting every little bit of her face while she's talking. So it's all one-to-one animation. Every line that she did when we were in motion capture was actually captured with markers on her face, and to get the most realistic lip syncing. So that was a really big addition for us. There's a lot of question about how Heidi's worked into our game. Is she in franchise mode? Where does she exist? Heidi is going to be a presence in every single game where it's 2 MLB teams. So it doesn't matter if you're in franchise, or Road to the Show, or March to October, which we're going to talk about a bit, or exhibition mode. If you're in an MLB stadium with MLB team, she will be a presence, and she's going to talk about a lot of different topics. Not guaranteed that she always can have a report. Obviously, we have weather reports. We're going to be talking about offensive trends. So within a game, talking about maybe in the 5th inning, hey, I talked to the manager in between innings. This is how he's feeling about the offense, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to roll a couple of videos and show off some of what we've done with Heidi, and I'll get into a little bit more detail after that.
And we're back for the bottom of the 3rd. Let's check in with Heidi Watney.
Well, Matt, I talked to manager Bob Melvin during the break about his thoughts on the A's hitters to this point. And flat out, he was very pleased with the quality of their at-bats. He said they're doing an excellent job with pitch selection, meaning they're swinging at the right pitches and doing damage with them. The numbers back that up. 5 extra base hits on the stat sheet, guys.
Okay, thank you, Heidi.
So what I saw there is what I was just describing. So we're going to have in-game kind of offensive updates. So, hey, I got to talk with the manager in between innings. And what we're doing with this is something we've never done, is really highlighting a lot of the data that we're tracking in the pitcher-batter analysis. So when you go on the pause menu, there's actually a way to look up all this different information about the hitters and the pitchers, what pitches they're throwing, getting outs with, how many line drive hits there are. There's all this wealth of information that we've never really been able to tap into. So with Heidi's reports mid-game, we're really touching on a lot of that kind of stuff. Maybe a team's struggling because they've grounded it into 4 double plays, or they have 6 first pitch hits because they're being really aggressive early in the count and getting good pitches to hit. Maybe they're working the count. There's a lot of information that we've touched on through these reports, and she's going to be highlighting those things to kind of bring those things out. And it's also kind of be help educational to you as you're playing. So you realize, oh wow, I'm chasing a lot of pitches. She's touching on that. I need to lay off. I need to be more selective. Let's roll the next video.
Matt, this team entered the season carrying the weight of high expectations from their fan base, and they responded with a solid start out of the gate. The players and coaches that I've talked to think there's still a lot of room for improvement, though, and they're challenging themselves to raise the bar even higher in every aspect of the game. We'll keep an eye out for that as the season progresses.
So what we saw right there is something we're going to see a lot more of later on in the stream with M2O in March to October. She's going to be highlighting where teams are at in their quest throughout the season, what their expectations were, where they are at, how they've been performing. So that's going to be kind of like an intro element to that mode.
Speaking of March to October, that's the keyword which you can input right now. You have 10 minutes for the sweepstakes.
Time has come.
3 digital deluxe edition of the games will be given away, 3 10-card bundles, and 1 67,500 stubs bundle as well.
Exclamation point MTO.
Exclamation point MTO. I'm sorry.
2O or TO?
MTO.
All right, so I think we're going to roll into the next
Heidi video?
Yeah.
Matt, hearing from the players throughout the day, many of them said that getting their first win of the series in Game 3 has allowed them to take a deep breath. They felt like they were playing a little tight in the first 2 games, but now they have a great opportunity to even this thing up as long as they play relaxed but with a good energy tonight. Now that can be easier said than done on the sport's biggest stage, but they feel like they've learned their lesson, and that has them feeling a little more like themselves going forward.
All right.
So we saw there was something that's going to be present during postseason intros. So we're going to be touching on where your team that you're controlling is at within the postseason. They lost the last game. Now we're down 3-0. They got a big road to climb above them or in front of them. There's a bunch of different possibilities that you're going to be able to experience within postseason mode, and that's going to be in franchise in March to October. So those kind of elements are going to be added to the intros during postseason from Heidi. I'm going to one more.
Is this our last video, Heidi?
Start of the second here in Boston. Let's check in with Heidi for a bit more on the weather.
Well, Matt, the grounds crew members that I talked to prior to the game said the weather we're experiencing right now is expected to move on as the game progresses. They said they'll put extra effort into keeping the field dry until this rain dies down. But despite it being a little wet at the moment, we should get this one in uninterrupted.
Let's hope, Heidi, for all of our sake, that Mother Nature.
All right, we're back, and I believe we hit our next concurrent goal, so we're going to play another Stadium Sounds video. So I believe this is a base hit Stadium Sounds. You can put in your base hit score. Run score.
Although all Stadium Sounds can be used for whatever you want.
For whatever you want.
Yeah.
So you can do, okay, that's
There's
nice.
7 categories you can choose from. Put whatever Stadium Sound you want wherever.
Nice, and we'll probably reveal all of those sometime in the next 2 streams. Kirby?
Something I'm going to jump into and talk to about a little bit is crowd audio. I'm going to talk about it now. It's this year and over the last couple of years, it's been a huge effort from our audio designer, Kurt Kellenberger, to completely revamp the crowd audio in our game. I've got some notes I'm going to go through here, but basically we've recorded all new crowd audio. That's both ambience and the reaction. So the ambiance is all the stuff you're going to be experiencing when it's just nothing's actually happening, but it's just the crowd, and you're going to hear, that murmur of the crowd. something you're going to notice a lot more of is it's kind of the individual voices, just kind of that stuff that the mics are going to pick up in real life around the stadium. With the reaction content, a big emphasis was made on making it situational and reactioning to a certain type of event. So in the past, we would kind of have generic positive, generic negative, and neutral and all that kind of stuff. With this edition and this kind of version of doing crowd audio, it's going to be much more focused on this is the reaction that we have for double plays and RBIs and go-ahead RBIs and all those types of things. So it's a lot more varied in the kind of reactions that we're going to get. So that was a huge, huge focus. And so it's going to just kind of feel like it's a little bit more alive and a little bit more reactionary to what's going on. Kurt traveled to a bunch of different games, many games over the last 2 years. Got it over 1,000 track hours that then had to be gone through, edited, implemented, copious notes about how those are all going to be implemented and used. So that's going to be a really big change that you're going to notice once you actually really get in the game and going to be able to listen and focus in on it. We also were able to get direct feeds from the broadcasts themselves. So when we were talking about, when we were getting a broadcast, let's say we were in Arizona, able to lock into their actual broadcast feed and get exactly what they were saying and exactly what the crowd was doing through that broadcast and be able to capture that directly and have it, bring it home to ourselves and be able to use it in our game. So that was a huge thing for us and really important. It's just going to, like I said, it's going to make the crowd feel a lot more alive, varied, and provide, kind of those different atmospheres as far as, kind of smaller crowd, not as important of a game, to like the, those bigger moments, go ahead home runs and that kind of stuff. So we're going to go into a few more videos here, and I'm going to show off. We'll get these videos rolling, and I'll talk about them once we get through them.
And there's no doubt about it. Back-to-back jacks. It's a solo shot for Frankie Lindor. 6th home run on the season for him, and with it, the Indians have taken a 2-0 lead.
So we were lucky enough to see that happen live when we were playing the game because I hit a home run. And but this was a good example of the score bug, the drop down information that you're going to be getting on those home runs. So again, launch speed, and exit velocity, and home run distance, all that kind of stuff instantaneously. Jump into the next one.
Next video.
Now this is a good example here. This is theme 2. This is our other theme. You can see score bug looks quite a bit different. All of the on-screen graphics are going to look different with theme 2. So kind of a little bit more of like a black art scheme with a lot of team color mixed in. The animations on the home run with the score bug are brand new. We've never had that before. We've never had the actual score bug animate with a home run type of, with the lettering and all that kind of stuff. So that's all brand new as well. And you can kind of see the differentiation there between the two themes.
Nice.
And
next video.
Again, something we got to see in the live gameplay. But here is a good example. We got the A's. We got Marcus Semien. OSD player models, and like I said, it's going to differentiate between you're going to have the hitters in the starting lineup, and then if we're talking about pitchers or we're talking about position players, that kind of stuff, we're going to be using their gloves and all that kind of stuff. Just different animations showing up at different times. And next video. Okay, this is a good sequence here of just we're going to show a lot of different pre-pitch cameras. So. This is a good example. So you kind of take in the atmosphere, take in the stadium, as you're thinking about the next pitch or as you're thinking about guest pitch. Kind of really get that kind of immersive feel of what's going on around you. Immersion. A little bit of a zoom in here on the picture. We just put these all back to back in the video.
Shout out to Michael Compton.
Yeah, Compton did a great job with these.
Did a wonderful job on all those cameras.
Like I said, we're gonna, and I mentioned this, but I'll reiterate. You know, they're situational. So there are going to be times where we're going to really lock in on a certain player, maybe the batter or you know, a player that just made a great play, the pitcher that's going to have to deliver a really big pitch. So that's a huge part of it, is that those are going to vary based on the situations and what might be important in that moment.
All right. Any more videos, or is that it for present? Screens?
Got a couple quick screenshots we're going to run through real fast. Again, score bar here. So showing off, we got Zimmer hitting first. Hitting 288. This was really important to me this year. I always feel like when I'm playing the game, I'm like, wait, who's hitting right now, or who's pitching? Especially in Road to the Show, there's times where you're batting and you're going to be looking like, who am I facing? We just jumped ahead a couple innings. Who's on the mound? This is going to help kind of give you a little bit more information right away, and also give you an idea. Wait, where in the batting order am I? If I'm pitching against the guy, where in the batting order are we? All that kind of stuff.
All right, it is 3:40, so the keyword is over. Please stop inputting it. And we are looking at a 4,000 concurrent goal for the next Stadium Sounds release. We got another slide. Hey, there we go.
I mentioned drop downs earlier, so that was a big emphasis. Was just trying to focus on how can we give more information to you, the users, as you're playing the game. This is just a screenshot, so it's not how it would actually work in terms of like covering up the guy like this. But we're trying to show off more information about things like left on base, who's on the bench for a team, what the crowd attendance was, and provide a little bit more information that stuff that might doesn't necessarily have to be commented on. It's just like maybe relevant information to given the if it's a situation where there's runners on base, or that's been a really significant stat in this game, we can utilize those types of things to get you information really quickly.
Awesome. Also, again, the sweepstakes is over.
So we've obviously had walk-up OSDs like this for a long time. This is just a new one that we're using for at-bats where it's not the first at-bat. So you'll notice it says 1-for-1 solo home run in the first. So now we're moving, in some cases we're going to be moving that information about how a guy's done in the game down to that notable bar on the bottom, and still allowing for his main overall stats to be shown off. This is also a good example of our Theme 1 batter walk-up, and then we're going to see a Theme 2 batter walk-up OSD. So there you can kind of see the differentiation in terms of the art and the feel. These were kind of, we were inspired by different broadcasts in real life and tried to, of course, make them our own. But provide that variety. All right. And those were the screenshots, right?
Yep. Those were all the screenshots.
Boom. Yep. And then one thing I'll mention too is just in terms of scene variety. I know like there's certain sequences in our game that home runs, intros, things like that you experience a lot. We've added quite a bit of scene variety to those things. So I mentioned at the beginning of this game, each game should feel pretty different in terms of the kinds of stuff that you're seeing from the players, what they're doing pregame. Same thing in home runs. We've added a lot of dugout scenes, something that we've only really touched on a little bit in the past. So when guys hit big home runs, come back in, there's going to be a little more of an emphasis on showing kind of what's going on in the dugout. We have a few signature ones of people that might, of certain teams might recognize, or certain players might recognize. We've added those to the game as well. So those are kind of things to look out for as you're playing through.
Thank you so much. Thank you again, Rory, for showing us real life contracts and contract extensions. So spring training and in July is when you'll be able to extend guys,
July
right?
15th is going to be the day that it opens up. You're able to go all the way till the 31st, get to the trade deadline, have your decision made. Either trade the guy or sign him.
All right, there you go. And thank you, Kirby, for showing us Heidi is in all areas of the game and all the presentation commentary
as we go.
All right, so we're going to take a very, very quick, brief break to talk more about March to October. But the raffle's over. Raffle is over. Raffle's over.
Thanks
quick
to
break.
be here, guys.
We'll be back.
Hi everybody, this is John Livingston, game designer for San Diego Studios, welcoming you to another MLB The Show 19 Monday, powered by GameStop. Our new game mode, March to October, allows you to experience all the excitement of your favorite team's season in less time by having you play only the season's key games and moments. Your performance in these key games will really count, as their outcomes will impact a team momentum factor that in turn influences how your team performs in the simulated games that happen in between the ones that you play. To start your March to October, you choose a franchise. The teams are divided into 4 expectation tiers: favorites, contenders, underdogs, and long shots. Next, you select a difficulty level. The difficulty you select will determine what reward package you will earn if you can take your club to a World Series championship. There are over 100 unique team-themed rewards available, and the harder the difficulty you select, the bigger the spoils. Having selected a team and difficulty level, you will be shown a brief video that summarizes your team's recent history as well as their outlook heading into the 2019 season. Now the action begins, starting in the mid to late innings of your opening day matchup. After playing the game to its end, you will be shown how the outcome has impacted your team's momentum. And as you watch while the calendar advances to the day of your next key game, you'll notice that the outcomes of the simulated games are influenced by the positive or negative momentum that you had earned previously. Through the repetition of this basic game flow, you'll be delivered from episode to episode with maximum action and intrigue and minimal menu interfacing. In most episodes, you'll play as the whole team, but in select episodes, you'll be player-locked as one specific team member, or asked to execute a key emergent duty of a general manager. As you advance through the season, unique narrative commentary will progressively and dynamically unfold the essential story of your chosen club's campaign. And this content varies based not only on how your season's going, but also on how your team's performance compares to what was expected of them entering the season. This fast-paced mode is all about getting your team to the postseason and beyond. March any MLB squad from opening day through October in just a few sittings. Can you elevate your performance to meet the increasingly big moments that emerge down the stretch? Your poise under pressure will determine the fate of your chosen team's season. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to join us again next week for another GameStop Monday. Don't forget to pre-order MLB The Show 19 before we launch on March 26th.
PlayStation.
You're joined by, this is your first time, right?
My first stream, yes.
First time stream for senior narrative designer, John Livingston. Welcome to the stream, John.
Thank you very much.
So you've been working your butt off on March to October.
I have, and very excited about it. I'm really pleased with how it's coming out.
All right, so let's jump right into it. Let's go to the game.
Okay, we're going to go in. You got a taste of it in the video there. We're going to just hop into the mode. So the first screen you hear, you see that we've divided the teams into 4 tiers: favorites, contenders, underdogs, and long shots. By the way, it's a work in progress. This is based on our in-game rankings, which aren't totally
finished. It's like the New York Mets aren't staying in favorites.
Yeah. Now the difference here between the tiers, obviously, if you in a given difficulty level, if you play a long shot, it's going to be a little more challenging than if you play a favorite. But another thing that's very significant about it is that the content is different. As you saw in the video, there's going to be unique commentary by Heidi Watney and by the guys that basically tells the story of your team's season as it's going, dynamically based on how you're performing. And obviously, the story of the Yankees powerhousing their way to the postseason would be a very different story than the White Sox, let's say, ending up powerhousing their way to the postseason. So you're going to run into totally different content there. So let's see here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just choose in the underdogs category. I'm going to go, let's suppose I'm a Mariners fan, so I'm going to choose the Mariners. Now you see over here, you're going to choose your difficulty, and you can look at the icons, and you can see some gift boxes there. So based on what difficulty you select, it's going to determine what package is available to you as a reward package for winning the World Series if you take the team to the postseason and win the World Series.
Awesome. So a quick note, you do need an online connection to get the rewards, but let's say you travel with your PS4 a lot and you win the World Series, you don't have to be connected online. As soon as you get back home and you plug your PlayStation in, you'll get those rewards.
Exactly. And you see, if you look at the top of each difficulty category, there's a little icon there. So another thing we'll notice is that even if you were offline, if you won the World Series and then you returned to the home page that we just came from, let me go back, that little icon would show up right at the bottom of the team that you had just won the World Series with at whatever level. So you'd earn a little badge there. We might see it later. So if you play different teams and win at different difficulty levels,
you'll see them.
You'll see them there, keeping a record. Now, suppose you were in a submarine playing offline, and you won with 8 different teams. You'd see those badges show up. You wouldn't get any rewards yet, But as soon as you come up and get back online,
Wi-Fi,
all of a sudden we're going to recognize that you won, and you're going to get all your rewards.
All right, so speaking of the rewards, we have a slide to show you. So the rewards are still a work in progress. A few things about the rewards. There's A, still a work in progress, and B, you can get these rewards in other areas of the game. So the top 3 rewards, if you win March to October and win the World Series with the Seattle Mariners, you will get the top 3 rewards. You'll get a universal profile nameplate, you'll get the Seattle Mariners profile icon, and you'll get this rookie version of James Paxton. Let's say you beat March to October with the Mariners on Legend, you would also get that 87 Diamond J. Buhner card. You get the team-specific stadium sound, the train whistle, and you'd also get this 83 overall rated 2014 All-Star version of Kyle Seager. Now, again, the rewards are still a work in progress, but shows you kind of good idea of the different type of rewards you can get. Now, you can also acquire those items in-game through other avenues as well. It's not the only way you can acquire them.
Right.
Great. So now, let's say we went ahead and chose the Mariners on All-Star. The next thing would happen, we'd hit the button, and you would see a unique team intro video. We've got a different one for every team, so we're going to show you a few of those right now. Let's go ahead and roll the Mariners team video.
All right, so that's the first video. A few quick notes about the rewards. Yes, if there are stadium sounds that are specific to the team if you win the World Series. Some of the rewards will be sellable. Some of them will not be. That's something that Nick and the guys are still working on. We'll probably talk about that in a few weeks. So we have another video, right?
Yeah, now you get the sense watching the video there, it really begins the narrative of telling, because the narrative of any team's season starts with what do we expect from them.
Right.
And then you know the way you play it, you may go right along with that expectation, or you might do better or worse. Let's see a video of a team that.
All right, so that was the Washington Nationals intro video. So I think we've shown maybe 4 total, because we showed Boston Red Sox at Game Inform. I think at IGN we showed the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we just saw Seattle's and the Washington Nationals. So we're going to see one more intro video, and I believe it is a long shot. Nick Livingston's team, Chicago White Sox.
Okay,
all right.
So now we just saw the White Sox video. We have some video that we took yesterday. We're going to jump into a White Sox season, mid-season, where we actually have it going pretty well with the underdog White Sox, with the long shot White Sox. So we can get a taste of what the content and the game flow would be like right around mid-season. So the first, let's see, let's load up that.
First video.
Here we go. So you take a look at the screen here. We're playing the White Sox on veteran. You can see the green line there shows the path we've taken, and we're so far basically slaying expectations of what we've got. 42-34 record, and the yellow dot there in the middle shows where we are in the season, and the yellow line beyond that shows what basically the projection of what is expected now from this point on. And it looks like at the moment, we are 2.5 games behind, and the projection suggests that we're going to be close in the race by the end of the season. So let's go in the game here.
So the White Sox were considered to be a rebuilding club, but they're in the thick of things halfway through the schedule. Heidi, what's the feeling around this team?
Matt, these guys have surprised a lot of people with what they've accomplished so far this season, but the players themselves are not at all surprised. They say they've been buying in since the first day of spring training and that they fully expected to be a factor in the race. There are still a lot of doubters out there that look for this team to fade down the stretch, but nobody out there is still suggesting that they're in a rebuild. This club is gaining confidence and respect.
All right, thanks, Heidi.
Great, so we can pause that. So you see that the content is totally dynamic. I can go ahead and mention now we have something like 250 or more possible episodes that you can hit based on how the season's going and what the context is, not just based on how you're doing, but how the other teams are doing as well. And so in any given season, you're probably going to hit about 30 or 35, maybe 40 different original episodes. And so, you know, if you go and play again, even with the same team, you're going to get a totally different experience. So we're going to jump ahead to the next video and see how this game turned out. You can see that we came into the game, and when we entered the game, we were, I think, down 1 run. We just won the game 6-5. And so you're now, let's pause right here. You're going to see that we got 2 fire icons for winning, and I'll go ahead and let it run. You'll notice that there's a different amount of fire icons you get for winning. That's based on what the win expectancy was when you entered the game.
Oh, okay.
So if you enter the game behind, you stand to gain more if you win. You'll lose less if you lose. It's the other way around. If you enter the game ahead, you stand to gain less when you win and lose more when you lose.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction about M2O. It's not just if you win or if you lose, it's how you win and how you lose and what the expectation was going into that game, right?
Exactly. So you can see that the momentum you just earned got applied to your team momentum. And as we go to sim the next few games, that you can see that momentum you earned is impacting what's happened next. So you just beat the Red Sox. We just beat the Red Sox the first 2 games of the series. A new episode triggers. We go back to the home screen and we see up in the upper right corner there, we're having an opportunity to sweep the World Series champs in their house. This is a great example of the mode working the way we wanted it to, because that's a big moment, for a team. You can imagine that would be a momentum swinging, event should they be able to pull that off.
Projected wins.
All right, now we've skipped ahead. We've skipped ahead a few more days. You can see from the spike of the green that it looks like we beat the Red Sox, swept them, got a little momentum. So we're now tied for the division lead, and the next episode that's triggered is an episode against the Minnesota Twins, who we're in a tie for the division for. We're behind in that game, and it looks like, so the episode basically is keep the win streak alive. So we're trailing. We got to try to come from behind. Let's go ahead and enter that game, and we'll hear the content from Heidi and the guys.
So the White Sox are one of the hotter teams in the league right now. And for more on that, let's check in with Heidi Watney.
Matt, this team is rolling of late, and they want to keep it that way. We've seen before how a hot club becomes increasingly dangerous as they continue to reel off wins. Let's see if this runaway train will pick up even more steam by coming out on top again in this one.
Okay, thank you, Heidi.
Okay, we're going to skip to the end now, and we'll see how this game turned out for us. So we've got it tied in the bottom of the ninth here.
Walk-off time.
Look out.
Swing, and there it goes. He got all of this one.
All right, so we just walked off the Twins to not only win the game, but take the division lead. And we'll celebrate a little bit here. We don't X out of things around here. So let's notice as the results come up. Wait just another second. Here, pause right now. So you can see we got 5 icons just for winning the game, and that's because we were trailing coming into the game. Now you also got a bonus fire icon because it was a walk-off win. And I'll just make a point here. There are a number of different ways you can earn a bonus. So it's not just that you win the game.
It's how you win.
It's how you win the game. The lead or deficit entering in the game, and then how you win. If you get a walk-off win, if you get a walk-off loss, we'll see that later. If you complete a shutout, there are different ways. Also, if you ended up blowing the game open and winning by like 6 or 7 runs, you're going to get another little extra bonus for that. So it's a reason to keep playing, your best. Because the more fire icons you earn, the bigger. Well, we'll see in a second here. Let's go ahead and look at it. I think we're going to have the White Sox pretty much to the maximum positive momentum possible here. So we get back to the. Also, you notice so we're back here. That's like the maximum possible momentum. Let's see what happens with that. That's going to definitely cause some wins to get reeled off. Something I'll mention, momentum does not guarantee wins.
Yeah.
The bigger it is, the more likely it is you'll win. But you're going to see losses too. Okay, so now here we are. Let's pause on this for a second. Okay, so it looks like we...
Mid-season surge.
Yeah, we just had a big surge. I think we took the division lead. this says perform well for a season-long player boost. Okay, this is the first we've seen of that, and we're gonna take a look at that, not in the White Sox, but with another team in a second. Basically, every once in a while, you're gonna get a player lock episode. It's gonna be an experience that's very similar to when you play Road to the Show. For this episode only, you're gonna play as Jose Abreu
for the entire game.
For the entire game, and you can see those little plus marks underneath there. You can earn a player boost for Abreu. If you have a really good game in this game, you're going to get a boost on him for the rest of the season of either 1, 2, or 3 of those pluses, which basically equate to some key attributes of his are going to be boosted for the remainder of the season if you can have a good game in this game. So we'll see that in a second. We're not going to go in this one, but the thing I wanted to notice there was that how responsive the system is to contextual situations. We've designed it, and it seems to be working really well to try to give you, if you turned on a cable sports network in the off hours, and a lot of times you might see like a 30-minute show that's like the 2008 Yankees. They would tell you the story of that team's season in 30 minutes by showing you just the key moments that swung the season. So that's what we're trying to do here. You're totally at control of how this season turns out by how you perform in those key games, but you don't have to play 162 games. It's when you play it, it's exciting because we drop you in like right here. We dropped you in when we're now up 1 run against the Twins, but they've got runners on first and second with 1 out in the top of the 7th. So it's an interesting game situation, and I think they're right behind us in the.
The Twins are right behind the Chicago White Sox in the playoff race.
It can happen.
It's just like I think the thing that's so like captivating about this mode too is just there are so many different options and so many different types of games that you can load into narratively that you play it over and over and over again. Like you said, there's more episodes in games than there are games in a season, and you're not going to play every game.
You're not going to get the same thing.
Close contest here between division rivals. And guys, do players reach a little deeper in these matchups?
Okay,
should they maybe?
Let's see what happens here.
Hey, no doubt about that. A win against a division rival is much more valuable. In fact, in addition to gaining a game in your win column, you're also putting them one more behind in the loss column, which guarantees that your position in the standings is always improving. At the end of the season, it's these divisional rivals that you are measured up against. So, absolutely, these are the games you definitely want to win.
Now batting.
Very specific commentary about your team, your situation, and how you're playing these moments in March.
And what we saw there too was like a comparison of 2 division rivals. Different OSD there, kind of highlighting something different about these 2 teams.
So we skipped to the end here, and you can see we lost this one. We're going to see a little bit. Okay, now we let a lead slip away, so we're going to have a big momentum shift in the wrong direction. And let's see what happens with that.
Chances at revenge because rivals within this division face each other quite a bit.
Yeah, 100%, Dan. 19 times in a season you take the field against teams in your division. So these teams will be very familiar with each other by the end of the season. Let's hope they give us a lot more good games like this one.
Uh-oh. Icicle.
So this is bad news. And let's see. Okay. You can see there that there was a win. There's another
win. And another.
Okay, so we didn't do terrible there. And I'll emphasize again that the momentum doesn't guarantee anything. Basically, for each game, it gives you more of a chance to win or lose based on how big the icon is. But, that losing streak caused us to lose the division lead. We're now a half a game behind. And I think we still have a little bit of negative momentum hanging on our back. So we got a great situation here where we've spawned a bottom of the 9th walk-off opportunity for the opponent. So this game is going to drop you right in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out, Detroit's got a guy on second, and I'm guessing the win expectancy for us here is probably 25% or something. So this would be an opportunity to pull 1 out and get back into positive momentum territory. If we ended up losing this one, it would add to the negative momentum. So this is I love these 9th inning situations are going to come up probably maybe 20 or 25% of the episodes you get are going to be dropping you right there in the bottom of the night.
Right in the front.
So a good variety too, right? In terms of like gameplay experiences. Sometimes a few innings. Sometimes, like you said, player lock, a full game player lock. Other times, super critical situation at the end of the game. Right?
Exactly.
So it keeps that variety. I think it also really helps keep it like those moments they feel critical, right?
Yeah.
You load into a game, you feel like everything you're doing is really.
And that's what we're going for, and we definitely are seeing that in the tests we've done.
Pressure-packed moments.
So we've jumped over here. We're now going to go in-game live. We have another save file where we have the Brewers. Looks like we are doing pretty well.
Doing pretty well.
Now let's drop down and look at the menu for a second. If you drop down in standings and go to the right, we can look at the wild card standings. So you can see there we're in the I guess we're in the number 1 wild card position. Not by a lot. So we're doing pretty well. This has spawned a game where we're actually behind by 3 runs, but it looks like we have 2 men on and 1 out.
So before we jump in, go to the other menus, Kirby. So you can see NL leaders.
Yeah, leaders, stat, your team
player
team
boost.
stats.
You can see what happened in that player boost episode that happened a while back. And keep going until we get to the options.
Mm-hmm.
So you have lineups, pitching rotation. You can lower your difficulty level. You can't raise it though.
Right. So yeah, you have control over your lineups, your pitching rotation, of course.
Minimal menu interface in March to October. Just want you playing the key moments.
Getting
your team
those games,
getting into the game. Yep.
Getting those seasons done pretty quickly.
All the very relevant information is either right here in front of you, or right at your fingertips if you want to, look down there in the menus.
All right, so we got this save file on Hall of Fame. We're gonna put Kirby on the spot. Let's go. Load into the game, Kirby. Let's see what you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, this is dropping us into an opportunity to get back in this game in the 9th inning, and gain a lot of positive momentum if Kirby can pull it off.
If Kirby can pull it off.
This is a tall task.
Yeah, it really is. This is one of the more difficult situations you'd be put in. But the thing to remember is that it would be one of the most lucrative situations, and if we end up losing, you're not actually going to lose a lot of momentum. So this is more of an opportunity.
Andrew Chafin doesn't know it's coming.
What are we doing here?
I'm just turning off the widgets.
Oh, okay. I thought we were cheating.
No, Kirby got to earn this.
All right, so our Brewers who are controlling here, 6.5 back. Obviously, like we talked about, we're in the wild card spot, but if we want to catch up with Chicago at all, this is a game we're going to want to pull out.
Striding in, Tyler Saladino. It was a flyout for him in his last
Pre-pitch camera.
Some retro uniforms going.
He's set. Here it comes. Bottom part of the zone, and the slider is in there for a called strike. Mustakis at second. Braun is over at first with 1 away. And that misses 1-1.
No doubt, some saves come easier than others, and I know this all too well. They're really wrapping this thing up.
Kirby, what pitch are you looking for here?
Looking for a fastball up, I can drive. Saladino's not likely to go deep, but if I can get one in the gap, that'd definitely help.
He's set. Here comes the 1-1.
That's not a pitch up. That was down.
Not going to get it done.
Uh-oh. Who do I got next?
Oh, you see the second baseman calling out the outs.
Well, I think I definitely want to bring in a pinch hitter for my pitcher. And, Shaw or Thames? Got a lot more power with Thames against lefties here.
Yeah, you got to go Thames,
I
right?
gotta go. Yeah, well, it's just, yep. All right. Quick vote. Do I power swing?
All right, Kirby, let's see what you got. Man, Thames PCI is small on Hall of Fame.
Oh, we're on Hall of Fame? I forgot.
Yeah, we're on Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, PCI gets smaller the higher the difficulty levels.
No. That moment when you start swinging and you know you shouldn't. We've all been there. Don't act like you haven't.
I'm there all the time.
Oh, God.
His speed's a little bit faster on Hall of Fame.
That's true. They're already ready to hang the K for me. All right, let's go. Lock in.
Was that a slider?
Mm-hmm. Fought it off. Oh, God.
Thanks for nothing, Kirby. I'm just pushing. All right, so you lost that game.
Let's notice here. Okay, we did lose an extra icon because of getting shut out. But I'll point out that if he had pulled it off, I'm guessing our win expectancy was maybe only like 15% or something. Probably would have gotten like 6 or 7 fire icons. So you don't hate it when you get in a game and you're behind, because the fact is that that's
an opportunity.
It's more of an opportunity, yeah.
And had you just scored a run, we wouldn't have gotten this offensive.
That's right. Just one run would have saved us from losing that extra.
Right. So it's not just if you win or lose; it's how you win or lose these games.
I'm clearly off my game today.
That
was real bad.
I think we're going to see the trade episode, right? Finish strong. Nope.
Fail. Ain't gonna be pretty. Loss.
Oh, that's a win.
Loss.
So trade. So tell us about trade episodes, John.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in the middle of the season. I think we're probably a couple weeks before the trade deadline here, and this is the first time the screen pops up with an opportunity to make a trade to improve our team. Now,
which we need to, because if I keep swinging the way I am, we need some help here.
So you can see we've been presented with 3 players to choose between, or the 4th choice is not interested in a trade at this time. And just to let you know, if you make that choice, a few days later, this will happen again, and it might be one or more of the same guys, but often it's different players that are available. So let's take a look here.
So what if I'm not quite sure about my team?
Exactly.
I need to go ahead and see.
So you can see at the bottom there, it says toggle lineup if you hit square. And we can take a look at our lineup and see what our team needs might be, okay? Right away I'm looking to see, first thing I notice is I'm gonna look at the overall values. I'm gonna say we've got an 85 center fielder and an 86 shortstop available there, and I'm gonna look at my lineup. I'm gonna say,
we're not looking too good at shortstop.
We're already solid at center fielder. We're not so great at we're okay, but not great at shortstop. And another possibility is if you see that Billy Hamilton can also play left field or right field.
We're good in the corner outfield.
Yeah.
Simmons.
Right. So yeah, I'll tell you from designing the mode and playing it, you're not going to get much better opportunity than Simmons at shortstop right there. So I probably would take that trade.
Yeah,
so what are we trading away here?
Should we vote? Should we ask?
Should we have a vote? Because we're going to play the next episode. Should we make this Simmons trade? Pull up Simmons'
we can either take Simmons, or we can say not interested if we want it, and we could see what came up next time.
Yes or no? Should we make this trade?
Let's say yes or no. Do we want to make the trade for Simmons here or not?
Seeing some yeses.
Simmons, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna make the trade
that's an
for
obvious
Simmons.
one. Yeah.
I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
We'll see you later, Ken Gatto, Huey Rader. So those are the guys we're trading away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Saladino too. Okay. All right. So the Angels are.
Let me mention one thing, because you're gonna wonder, well, what's it matter? I'm trading guys away. We're gonna show you later that this file that we're creating by playing March to October, when we finish our March to October experience with it, we're going to be able to hit a button
and jump right
and turn it into a franchise file.
And in 2020.
And then you can continue right into 2020, continuing with this team and whatever just happened in your season, moving on from there in full franchise mode.
Right. So
and you would be without Ken Gatto,
and
Huey Rader, and Tyler Saladino.
And so another thing, because I know people are going to ask, what are the rosters for March to October? When we ship the game, we're going to do one last March to October roster update, right? That's the plan.
Yeah, that's right. We have the rosters for March to October, the latest moment possible. Mm-hmm. We're going to set the rosters. And yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because another thing I'll mention, because this is a challenge mode, it can be seen as a challenge mode in trying to get your reward. We want it to be fair. So those rosters are going to be frozen at that opening day roster. At any point during the season, if you decide to play March, October, you're going to use that same roster, and there's no injuries. You're not going to be playing great and then have terrible luck that you got guys injured and ruined your chances. So it's going to be the rosters are frozen with no injuries.
All right, so if we accept this trade, will there be another opportunity?
No. You get one. You get to trade for one player.
One emergent.
And so so knowing that, if you don't love your choices, I would recommend you say not interested in the trade at this time, and you're going to get at least 3 or 4 chances before the trade deadline to make a trade.
Okay, Kirby, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yep, let's go.
So we just traded for a player, and I'm going to tell you the very next thing that's going to happen is going to be a player lock episode as that player. And so let's go ahead and just listen to what the content has to say about it when we enter.
All right, jumping in, playing as Andrelton Simmons. Let's do it. Luke Weaver, new Diamondback, recent trade.
Well, in case you missed the memo, Andrelton Simmons is about to make his debut in his brand new uniform.
Yeah, he was just traded for in the hopes of bolstering this lineup heading into the back stretch of this season. So we'll see what he can do for this club.
Yeah, mid-season additions like this one have become something a contender almost has to consider, or else they run the risk of falling behind other clubs without making any upgrades, Dero. Kind of the way the league runs these days.
It's true, Dan. I'm sure they're eager to see what he might add to their lineup. Let's see if he can get off on the right foot in his new environment.
All right.
All right, Kirby, just see what you got.
Andrelton Simmons, and he comes into this one having hit safely in his
And I hope he catches fire. Getting them at a good time, 5-game hitting streak. I'm going to do my best not to ruin that. Oh, now they're scared.
So I saw people want to know if when you finish your March to October season, you can't restart in 2020 and start March to October again. It kicks you right into. You have the option to kick into franchise.
That's right. The current March to October experience is limited to the 2019 season. If you hit whatever you decide to do, that file is going to be there available, and you can make it a franchise file and continue your experience in full franchise mode. You're not going to have momentum anymore. You're not going to have the other features but you're going to have all your stats from the season.
Here's the 1-1 pitch.
Oh.
Swung on and heading for the stands in right, and that'll move the count to 1-2 now. The 1-2 is a
Ooh, that Hall of Fame pitch speed.
Oh, I'm bad today. I'm real bad. We're going to turn it around.
You're getting some trolls, actually.
I believe it. I absolutely deserve it.
So speaking of pitch speeds and pitch breaks, when we had the gameplay stream, Kyle and Gil, we talked about how spamming the same off-speed pitches won't be as effective. Some of the systems that have been introduced in the game aren't offline. And that is one of them. It's not as exaggerated as it is online, offline.
I'm just getting a lot of entertainment out about some of these people's comments.
Let's go. Get down.
Okay, Kirby.
Play.
Oh, shit.
This is bad. I'm going to tell you.
Get out of here with
full
that.
disclosure, I'm terrible at editing, so I shouldn't be laughing. Yeah, right.
Kirby, you felt so good for about a split second.
This is, look at, I just saw like 4 different guys that just said, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. I think I'm better at revealing legends than I am at hitting.
Oh, man, you got robbed.
I'm going to have a lot of work to do before this dev tournament if I'm getting on that.
Dev turning, redemption.
It's okay. I deserve it, guys.
Hey, you got an RBI opportunity here.
Let me have it. Yes, I do. Let's go.
Here's the first pitch to him.
No. Oh, no.
You went.
That was called.
You
That was
went.
called. That was called. That was called.
From a hitter's
Oh,
perspective,
God.
you knocked a donut off your bat knowing two things. This pitcher is out on the mound looking for a strikeout or a double play, so you better set your sights at least belt high.
Get in the gap.
Marte has him played perfectly as he puts it away for out number 1.
Sometimes all you can do is hit the barrel, you know?
Good time now to check out
Yeah.
the Diamondbacks.
You did that twice.
Report as you see a couple of guys in the upper
Okay,
levels of the
let's go.
minor.
Man, that was a good presentation, Kirby.
This is actually.
Sorry, I'm locked in to trying to get a hit at least. I'm 0 for 3.
Hit
Two lineouts.
dingers.
Let's go.
Hit dingers.
This is actually a good segue for me to reveal that you can't actually get a negative player boost. The worst you can do is no player boost.
Oh, so it's like challenges and road to the show. You can either win them, or if you don't.
We
nothing
thought
happens.
about putting a possible negative boost in, but we didn't do it.
Does anybody think it's at all silver lining that the Brewers are still winning, even though I haven't done anything? I'm about to work a walk, though.
There's Christian Yelich.
I'll just work a walk and let Yelich hit a homer. How about that? Although, I'm green lighting myself. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Nope. Well, we are on Hall of Fame, right?
That shouldn't matter. Can't really do it.
So a crucial moment here.
Somebody says you can switch
Let
to
Ramon play. You
strike
don't wanna
zone
let
hitting.
Ramon play.
I'm not even done.
They're recommending you
I'm
switch
not
to
even
zone
done.
hitting, which is what I use, zone hitting.
Let me just make sure of something right now before I screw myself up.
3-0
You're on
swinging,
zone
question mark,
hitting,
question mark, question mark.
Yeah, 3-0, but it was down the middle. I'm trying to make something happen here. Okay, here we go.
Send Kirby down! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Some down AAA.
You're not wrong. Hey, at least we can play a little defense, all right? Let's
Got some XP.
go hit.
On to the back third here this afternoon, and we've got it for you on the show.
I'm getting another at bat. Let's go.
0 for 4. Donut.
Did you need to say it?
0 for 4. Donut.
Let's go. Let's do it backwards hat. Maybe it's gonna make something up here.
First pitch on its way.
Just getting blown away. Just getting blown away by Hall of Fame pitch speeds here.
Pitching staff right here, they've been able to hold a hot hitter in check in Game 4 this series.
It's bad.
Good eye.
And he misses with it 1-1.
Drop down there. Give me a little information on the attendance.
Hey, get your pitch. No one better up there. Hey, come on now. One time. Right
Now a move over to first, and he has to dive, but he's back in easily.
Kirby better be getting some hazard pay.
I think this is your last at bat, Kirby. You can tie the game up here, one swing.
No, we're ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all are ahead.
I'm just trying. I'm just going with the stats. Oh, come on, Blue.
Ah, that's a negative emotional scene. Yeah, I think that's it, bro.
Oh, hey, look, you got this, Kirby.
No, I don't, because
No,
I
you
just
don't. It's
started
over.
looking on him.
That's it. Game's over.
Oh.
All right, so
Well, let's see what these guys
you
have
can
to
see
say.
here, no offensive production. And look,
But they won.
they did get one fire icon because the team happened to win the game.
So I'm assuming the
So it's
top,
sort of a charity.
the top
charity
one is based off
situation
his
there.
player lock episode.
The top one is based on his player lock episode, and had he gotten enough production, we would have seen either 1, 2, or 3 plus marks.
All right, let's hit exit. We're gonna sim to the next storyline. We won't play it, and then we'll load up our last save file.
I need something to play.
And just so you know, there's
That's it,
there's
Tom.
like there's about you probably can hit about 5 player lock episodes through the course of the season, and it's gonna most cases it'll be 5 different players.
All right, so what happened? We got a win, a loss, Another loss.
Oh, we didn't get swept.
Win. Didn't get swept.
We're losing series here. We're losing series. All right.
What do we got here?
Coming up.
Beat strong contender for morale boost.
So the A's are in it, huh? So
the
this is a big game for us.
So it looks like the A's have been, this game has been flagged because the A's are a strong team.
Okay.
And where are we in the race here? Let's look at the wild card race here.
I'm not helping us.
We're 10.5 out of the division race, but we're still in place
in the thick of it
as a wild card team. And we got a 2-2 game against the A's.
Which we can't let Kirby's...
No, we don't even, at this point, Yeah.
Can't let Kirby. So let's load in our next save file, which is the end of the season for the Brewers.
Okay.
So had Kirby's play turned around, and he got on track,
This is my
and
worst
got to the
stream performance
postseason
ever.
and took this. And by the way, let me mention the postseason. You're going to play in every game in the postseason, but you're not going to play the full game unless it's Game 7. So we're going to drop you in somewhere between the 4th and the 6th inning in every postseason game.
So this is the in-game result.
So should we have made it to the post? Looks like here that the Brewers made it as a wild card and went on to win the World Series. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at.
Amazing, and you see the trophy there. And now, if you just look at the upper right part of the screen, you got two choices. You got try again, which will just take us back to the entry screen for this mode, where we should see the little icon that notifies that you've won the mode with the Brewers. Or if you hit continue in franchise, it would take you right into franchise mode. Now you can hit. The fact is that this file is saved. So if you hit try again because let's say let me try now to win it with another team, this save file will still remain, and you can go back into this save file at any time and just hit
franchise.
Continue to franchise.
Okay. Gotcha.
And another note, if you don't win the World Series, but you do make the playoffs, I do believe you will still have the opportunity to continue into franchise mode from that moment where you got eliminated in the playoffs.
That's right. And even not in the playoffs. Even in the
just
if
regular.
you got eliminated in the regular season,
you have the opportunity.
You would still go to this screen. You wouldn't get grade A, amazing. You would get some other grade, but you would still be able to choose the button that said continue in franchise, and it would just drop you into franchise at that moment.
Nice. Anything else you want to tell the people about March October?
I think we covered it.
All right. Thank you, Kirby. Thank you, John. We're going to show you a quick
You shouldn't
video.
be
Then we're
thanking
going
me.
to do the last reveal before we end the stream.
Personal accolades and things like that, they're all great and grand, but at the end of the day, what are guys remember for is winning. And if there's guys around me that have that same aspiration, that same goal, we got a chance. If the guys around me are really good as well, then we got an even better chance. And that's what it's all about, and it's just getting started.
PlayStation.
And set up my mic.
How to set up your mic.
I'll just hold it up here. It's fine.
All right, so we're going to
Ain't
reveal
amateur hour here at all.
Too slow.
We're going to show a video and reveal some more of the special edition diamonds that you get to choose one of if you purchase the MVP, Gone Yard, or Digital Deluxe edition of MLB The Show
19, that's right.
Let's go.
It is 2019. So we showed Lou Gehrig a huge legend reveal earlier. He is one of the special edition diamonds.
Ayo.
Luis is going to walk you through the next three.
We got Jackie Robinson coming up next. That's the... Oh, there we go.
There's Jackie.
That's the left field Jackie Robinson. So
Left
he
field.
still plays second base as a secondary, but that's the left field Jackie.
Wow.
We've got the Jason Kendall, 87 overall from 1998. So he was revealed in the trailer a few weeks ago.
I think a very fast catcher.
Yeah, so he hit 327 that year, 26 steals. So you can expect good contact, good speed, good stealing from a catcher. And last one for today, We got Chipper.
Wow.
87 Chipper. This was when he was just dominating the league as a 36, like in his late 30s. This is he was 36 years old. He hit 364 that year.
Man,
so,
switch hitter, third base.
Yeah, is he your pick?
So I just want to recap. Actually, we've done 12 special edition reveals so far. These are those diamonds in that choice pack. You're going to get to choose one of them out of the 30. So far, we revealed 12 of them. Let me just read off the names. We've only gotten to 12 of them, but they're huge names, like we said. Frank Thomas, Roy Oswalt, Tom Seaver, Stan Musial, Ted Williams, Kerry Wood, Curtis Granderson, Tony Gwynn, Chipper Jones, Jackie Robinson, Lou Gehrig, and Jason Kendall. We have 18 more to go, and there are some big ones in there that you guys haven't seen yet. So we only have 19 days left to launch. We have 18 diamonds to reveal. So in next week's stream, at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do another 8 special edition diamond reveals, and then do 10 like that week before. I think that the developer tourney's going on, and that's when we'll reveal those.
Yep.
So we have a lot of reveals left. What else next week for the content stream? What else?
Yeah, so among other things, we're going to reveal the top 3 live series players at every position. So our roster reveal for the year. That's exciting. And, you know, a bunch of other little nuggets that you'll... Yeah, it's going to be...
Content.
Yeah, we're going to look at all the big rewards, collect, the ranked seasons, flawless for Battle Royale, 5 guys to start the year.
Some surprises along the way.
That GameStop Monday video coming
next Monday.
Don't miss it.
Don't want to miss that.
Don't miss it.
So, Rory, and John Livingston for coming on the stream today, talk about March to October contract extensions and real life contracts. Next week we'll be talking about DD content. Yeah. Until next week, peace, love, and positivity. Let's make purpose popular. We'll see you next week. Hi, I'm Ramon Russell from the San Diego studio. By pre-ordering MLB The Show 19, you'll receive 3 different content packs to help kickstart and power up your MLB The Show experience. These include 10 standard packs. These packs have 8 total items to help enhance your Diamond Dynasty squad and Road to the Show player. Also included is 1 gold player choice pack. In this pack, you'll get to choose 1 gold player from a pool of players to help jumpstart your Diamond Dynasty squad from day 1. And by pre-ordering from GameStop, you'll receive their exclusive Gear Up Choice Pack, where you'll get to choose 3 total items to help boost your Diamond Dynasty and Road to the Show squads from day 1. That's it for the physical pre-order bonuses. MLB The Show 19 launches exclusively on the PlayStation 4, March 26th.
PlayStation. PlayStation.